Hello and welcome to this Brewing Perfection webcast. I'm your host, Chris Simmons. So what will we discuss in this webcast? We'll mainly talk about, this is the Beagle Brown Ale that I've brewed over the years. So we'll talk about the history of it. We'll talk about mostly at the end the most recent version that was brewed this year. And we'll talk about the brewing process, the ingredients, and we'll have a taste test at the end. So basically, the history of this beer is, I lived in England for about 3 months back in college, or even in my junior college days, basically. And one of the beers I liked was the brown ale. Over here, like the Newcastle Brown is pretty popular here in the U.S. So I wanted to make a brown ale, and I was only just starting out in beer brewing. So when I was going to school down in LA at Loyola Marymount, I went to the local homebrew to do a recipe for a brown ale I had in mind. So I got all the ingredients there, and when I got there, I got Belgian grains, and I also got some home toasted, some not home toasted malt, but some grains that I toasted myself to make home toasted malt, which gives extra complexity to the beer. And this beer I was making at that time was a extract with some grain. This is an easier way if you don't have the space, and it's a little bit better than the extract. You get sort of starting to get to all grain. This is before I had all the equipment I have now. So over the years I did many different versions, including one that was like Pete's Wicked Ale. So it was it was like a brown ale, but it was very hoppy, very bitterness, but it was well made. It had very good color to it and tasted really well. So the most recent brown ale, Beagle Brown Ale I made, which is this year, I tried to go for more of a traditional brown ale, like English brown ale. So I made very simple ingredients here. I did Belgian pale, malt and chocolate and Munich, where basically my malt, my grains, my base grains, and I used Fuggle hops for my hops, and I made it with lower alcohol content, not high alcohol, just like your average you would have in most brown ales in England. So the brewing process was pretty good on my 10-gallon setup. No big problems. Went really quickly. 6 hours of brewing time about with everything from start to finish, and it came out really well. And it fermented in my 14-gallon conical fermenter for the appropriate amount of time. And then once it was ready, I bottled half of it and I kegged the other half. So basically what I did there was, I thought was a good idea. I put half in the keg and half in the bottle for a different feel to each. So, with the keg version, you can really control the amount of carbonation, and when you dispense it, you can control, how much you want, how big a head you want, how much when you dispense it or you do it, and it has much of a creamier feel to it and very drinkable. The bottled version has a bit more of a deeper flavor, richer flavor. So okay, let's I have some here. Let's taste it. This is the bottled version. And this is a dark brown ale, so you see it's kind of black in color, so it's got a good size head there. You can taste the flavor, but it's not like overpowering. It reminds me a little bit of the porter, the winter porter I did, but with a less of a the porter really is not overwhelming, but it's a deep flavor. It's very chocolatey and this reminds me of that, but it's a lighter thing. For some people don't like deep flavor. Some people don't like French roast coffee, for example. They like house blend. So this is more like house blend instead of French roast. So but it's got good color, good got good carbonation, good flavor. I mean, it's very easy. I drink it a lot. Very easy. A lot of people like it. You find it very easy to drink, and it's not hoppy. You really taste most of the grain flavor, the complexity of the grain versus hops. Overwhelmed. So it's pretty good there in that. And for more information, you can go to our website. That's SimmonsBrewing.com. Thank you for watching this webcast.